From Juji in Boroni to Sonji Kanjangovanya, Ronsan Chukungan Sutanzip. Tavalam Javla Zorande, Dawson Rovolo Nachula, Yer, Susandunga, Chandra Chijin, Yasun Meponsheva Jelas. Senchen Tam the Nur the Danchana Tamba Namje Ninta Zardoso. Today's our Nyanya internet quite works very well. I hope it's not interrupted. And also I hope you are not fed up with me and with internet. And also we generate bodhicitta to a lot of massage to make the strong our wisdom, and prepared. We traveled into different states, different countries, according to your compassions. You want to explore the situation of your families and those sentient beings. When we be honestly, or to take the honest, I'm not sure to say that, sincerely, and then we need to analyze our family, closest one or far one, wherever existence, your families, how are they? Are you okay? Lots of us, they're translating. It doesn't matter your closest families. Maybe for your parents, or maybe your partner, or maybe your children, or your closest, or maybe in the past, maybe in the presently, maybe in the future. Anyway, all the transmigrations, in the book says, we have the links. And they are very much connected to us. And to connect our blood, like through the body, verbally, mentally. And also they are the like a similarity, microorganisms, to analyze the subtle things, mind and materials. Any kind of materials to have the mind, and then this mind is like same as our mind, your mind, my mind. Really. Generally, we misunderstanding each other. Then it's like we never concern in other situation. We do not realize that others' situation, like happy or sorrow. Now really we need to investigate through your compassions. Maybe at the beginning to start, close to your family. Ask to your parents, say, really, do you have mind? Are you same as myself? Would you like to have happiness or sorrow? Are you try to get happiness? If I become very kind, are you be happy? How they can reply to you? Also, we need to ask to your partner, do you need happy? Do you have mind? What is your partner's reply to you? Maybe I imagine it, or it's almost that I haven't got any doubt. I can to predict to you. Your partner or parents reply, say, yes, we want to have happiness. Yes, we don't want any sorrow. If you become kind with us, we are very happy. Then you can to discover they have mind. Then you can ask to your enemy, why you are angry with me? And why? Do you have consciousness? Do you have mind? You are same as me. I'm angry you angry with me. Why? And then maybe enemies to reply say, because you want to take my happiness. Therefore I'm angry. Then we can discover also our enemies are the same as we are. Why we are angry others? Because our enemies don't want to make happy, give harsh words, showing very negative characteristics, provoke, mocking, criticize. Then we are unhappy. Also we doing same as the enemies. Why they have become enemies? Because we disturb to them. Why we are angry to them? Because they disturb to us. But in the mind's perspective, or the mentally, we are the same. And according to your compassions, you investigate or discovered, even your enemies has also mind. Then all the mind is we understood. We understood or these realizations, then why not to pray, to make the aspiration, to generate bodhicitta, to make whoever has the mind to be happy. That's a wonderful, same as me. Whoever have mind to be free from sufferings, it's a wonderful. They are same as mine. This kind of that we need to make the link of the wish, aspiration. And also we need to make the link, yours according the aspirations, to make the free from sufferings, those sentient beings. And also this related to those sentient beings, if they are become free from the sufferings and the cause of the sufferings, it is wonderful. That is like kind of you concerning and their situations, then we are making the links. And it's such a kind of the aspiration praise. And also it's like we have very strong wish. We want to make free from them, make freedom from them, from their own sufferings. And we have such encouragement, diligent, enthusiastic, large mind. Why say, I don't care myself. I want to benefit those my families. And those my families are, look, I traveled into the hot hell state. There are the 8 countries, and the start of the revival state or health until the ultimate torment health. Those 8 states are quite really injured by the sufferings. Of course, nobody's give sufferings, nobody's put them into this situation. But according to they mistake. They did a lot of misdeed. And then the result is this kind of happened. You know, the great Bodhisattva, compassionate Shantadeva, he said, those cherished sentient beings has such a wish to have happiness, but physically, verbally, or they acting all the time as the cause of the sufferings. Then the result is the suffering. This is according the causalities. This is the inevitable. When we do the something negative cause, the result is negative. And they wish doing things very much contradicted. Of course, they don't want to do it, but according to the ignorant, according to the disturbed emotions, stupidities, then they do not understand really what is the cause of the happiness, like kind of the 10 positive. And also they do not understand the cause of the sufferings, like 10 negative actions. What is the right, what is the wrong? Very difficult to make the distinguishing between right and wrong. And now we are very lucky. We obtain the human existence, and also we account, maybe according to your some wish, you met qualified teacher, not kind of teacher like me, but hope you met quite qualified teacher. And also you received a lot of Pita instruction, teaching. And according to Buddha's teaching, obviously, that our own really the source of the Buddha's teaching, the founder of the Buddha's path is the Buddha Shakyamuni. And any kind of perspective we investigate to our peerless teacher of the Buddha, he is the extraordinary human being. What is the extraordinary? Compassionate, kindness, such wise wisdom, intelligent, omniscient. Whatever he tells to us, to talk to us, everything is benefit. I would to say it's like, really, sometimes, of course, maybe you have ideas. Says, I'm Tibet. And to follow up the one India guy is quite difficult. We have different culture, different language, different races. Maybe also sometimes I'm thinking, if Buddha is in Tibetan guy, then wonderful. I can too easily follow. Maybe may you have this kind of idea. For example, now I'm living in Belgium. Most the French language speakers. Probably their perspective, if Buddha is a French guy, maybe they may be very happy. But when you say the India guy, or maybe he's Hinduism, we don't know it. And this kind of also, I met many. And if you look at in the historically, Buddha's teaching came in Tibet. One is I'm very happy in Tibet artists, they never changed Buddha's face. Like they kept exactly the India's face. Because he's India, it's like face. But otherwise, Buddha's teaching came in China. He's a fight, and a little bit like kind of more Chinese handsome guy's face. And Buddha's teachings went to Thailand, also they changed Buddha's shape and the body. And Burma, different countries. Because this is like kind of their own races or something, it's like this. But anyway, whoever you are happy or not happy, Buddhas appear in India. This India guy is the wonderful. If we can do more research, his biography, what he done, what he taught to us, wow, wonderful. We can to learn many, many, many. Whatever we want, need, want to study. The 80,000 teachings representative, we have 100. Normally they say it is the 8 volumes. Inside is everything. Technology, quantum physics, physiology, cosmology, medicine, everything. Even the like we can do the quantum physics is called the astrologies. It's more subtle, deep. The dynamic of the astrology is inconceivable. If you know the astrologies, white, black astrologies, you become the omniscient. It's inconceivable. And same as the medicines. Medical perspective. In Tibet, we have this Tibetan medicine, according to Buddha's teaching. Many doctors, they cannot perform all the Buddha's teachings. There's 4 books. They use only last activity books. First 3 books, they're very difficult. Many lineage is gone because some is like compassionate doctors. They studied. They become very nice. They create a wonderful medicines. But most business doctors, they little study, and then it's like slowly disappeared. There is a wonderful 100%, and also in the according to this in the situations, and many there is the peoples. They say this the Tibet. Some there's medicines correct, not fake, not artificial medicine. Real something is produced, some maybe in Dharamsala or some good. There is some medicines like Norbadantong, Yongwa Yatong, Bongjin Chunga, Taz, and there is some other medicines. When you got the coronavirus, they say it is almost at 100% no problem. And they have experience. It's wonderful. And this is like, it comes from the Buddha. And therefore, he's like teachings, telling to us the wonderful things. Almost it is like all his world is, no need, even the single word we don't need to get rid. We don't need to say, that's very strange. Of course, he told to us to say, hey, do not swallow whatever I said. You should to investigate even my word. And there's something is make mistake or not relevant to you, get rid, not benefit. You need to check again and again. It's wonderful. We are freedom. And therefore we can to study deep and deep, as much we can to drive in the deep ocean of the Buddha's teachings. Almost difficult to go to in this bottom of this ocean of the Buddha's teachings. And according that, and we have like kind of the pit instructions. And surely you studied how to like kind of to explore, how to understand our family situation in the samsaras. And like this, today I think you are ready. I choose to say why we need to explode in the different states, different country, different holiday place. And we never want to go to holiday into the hot hells, obviously. We understood that. But today we can do traveling. If you are ready to move, we can go to the 8 cold hells. Would you like to come with me? If you are ready, let's start our vehicles, engines. To everybody to be the passengers, and would you like to the driver? Maybe you. Okay, we can go to to research how it is the situation of the 8 cold hells, like more than the cold than the Siberias, and more than cold than in Tibet. Maybe the attitude is Siberia is not that high. Of course, in Tibet, Himalayas, some snow mountains, maybe 7,000-8,000 meters. But in these 8 cold hells, maybe 20,000, 100,000 meters. The Celsius or the cold temperatures under the zero, maybe 100, 200, 1,000. And Siberia's, some in the high altitude of in Tibet, winter time is almost become the 40, 35, then almost frozen everything. Like maybe we are going to this kind of very high altitude. Even this kind of high altitude cannot survive polar bear. Have you seen the polar bear? Or cannot survive any penguins. They can die. But some in the karmic kind of the tendencies, appearances occurring, those misdeed, some sentient beings, they reborn there, but they are not dying. They're such like kind of unbearable sufferings. But again, they're like this. Okay, we are ready. And this goes like this, they're saying, in all these hells, 8 hot, the cold hells, the environment is entirely composed of snow mountains. Snow mountains. Some of you have experience. I myself have experience. Once I was child. I was 12 years old, and I was in Ando. I needed to look after the 100 or 200 yaks. One winter time, it's snow came. Where I live, it's amazing cold. You imagine. In the ships, they make baby in the sufferings. And also they make the babies, and the baby is born just 20 minutes. If they cannot birth or to make the birth quickly cannot make, and maybe it's 20 minutes late, half is frozen, half is still in the mother's womb. Like they start immediately to make reborn, they like this. And amazing cold. But in the cover over the snows, animals can't get the grass. Sometimes they eat each other. I saw my eyes. Some wild animals jumping into the snow, they cannot go out. I took few antelopes. Humans is quite methods. I was 12 or maybe some years old. Wolves were very much clever. they do something, manipulate, they go out. But some antelopes, they cannot put there, then they are like kind of a little move, then they die. And often I'm going to take out, and I want to bring to a little bit lesser snow, they can go. But then almost 100 animals died. Like this, to snow mountain, to compost of the snow mountains, then become the glasses. Sometimes snow half is melt, and then it's like this ice, the waters become ice, then very hard, then it's very cold. Perpetually enveloped in a snow blizzard, or blizzard. And then it's like the beings there who completely naked. That is the obvious. Wearing clothes, sentient beings, I think only the human beings. There's no other sentient beings, someone's wearing cloth to make the cloth. Other all the animals, they have their own cloth, kind of the hair. If they are hairy, they are quite warm clothes, like sheep. And some is yaks, some buffaloes. But some is like animals, it's like almost naked, nothing here. And also some in the living beings, in the emerged or the sinking into those snows. No hair, no cloth, completely naked. They're tormented by the cold in the hell of blisters. This blister means one is a true cold, and then all the bodies are coming naturally blister. At the moment, I have a true blister in my feet. Blister. And burst blister. As ugly waters coming out. Blah. Like this. Really, it's too cold. The cold makes blister erupt on their bodies. Erupt. Do you understand? Erupt. How to the Lotsa was translated? I hope it's okay. Erupt, like kind of the naturally waters coming out. Erupt the volcano. And erupt like kind of your pus from your different part of body, blood. Like this, blister and explode, erupted, there are some like kind of the dirty things coming out. That is the like kind of the blissed hell, the hell of the burst blister, burst. And also it's like from the blister, some is like kind of the liquids coming out. That is we call the burst blister. The blister burst open in the hell of the clenched teeth. Clenched teeth, you cannot to say even the and in English, how do we say? In Tibet, it's like when you are cold, people say, achoo. English, not ouch. Okay, when you are cold, something is lamentation sound is coming, but even too much cold, someone says, like this. Cannot to even say, because the teeth is clenched, to cannot open your mouth. The beating cold is the intolerable, unacceptable. And the teeth of the beings, they are tightly clenched. It's absolutely this kind of something happened. Particularly, for example, have you seen humans sometimes died by the cold? Someone is like ancient times traveled, and then now also, it's something lost something way, and snowstorms came, too much cold, and then there's like finally its teeth clenched, and like tightly clenched. They cannot talk, they cannot even eat, cannot drink, they die. Too much. Then it's in the hell of the lamentation set. I think this is the second called hell. Lamentation set. Lamentation set, there are the lamentating never end set. Like kind of when you cold making the sound. Achoo! It's a lamentation sound. Such a kind of the suffering sound. And in the hell of the groan, the voice are the cracked and the long groans escape from their lips. And it's a kind of the ground, groaned, thyroid. Something voice is like completely problems. Cracked and long crack. Voice is like kind of the can't clearly. Of course, that's how are you like this. Even that we can to imagine, we can to be in the very, very cold. I tried to went into the freezer. You think is how you can go to freeze. You know, sometimes in the sauna they make this freezer. And I went to there just 2, 3, 5 minutes. Oh, so cold. And you go to in the sauna and to jump into the so much cold. It's really after your whole body is shaken, but we are firm. If you this kind of cold, just 20 minutes stay there. In Russian they do in the winter times. But of course Russian guys, they are very strong. They're in the ice water, they jumping. But if you stay there a few, maybe half an hour, I think it's die. Very difficult. Or maybe if you practice thermo, then maybe it's okay. But this you can to test sometimes. Why not? Then you can to understood those who ever reborn in the cold hell. And like this, kind of the crack escape from their lips. In the hell of the upala, like cracks. The upala is like kind of the sometimes green upala, some special flower. And blue apple, yellow apple, like these upalas. Special flowers. This flower has like 4 petals, like this. Those kind of the blessed is too much cold, it's crack. And their skin turn blue and split into 4 petals like pieces. Like this kind of upalta cracks, upalta like crack. In the hell of the lotus like cracks. And then this is a 4th one, something. This is like blister, is the red, like strong red. Soul is a very like kind of infected. Red, raw flesh become the visible and could makes it split into the 8 pieces. And then is the lastly in the hell of the great lotus, like crack, many. And the body is the full of the blisters, too much cold, and they are like kind of the crack everywhere. Their flesh turned dark, red, and split into 16, 32, and then into the innumerable pieces. And also it's like burst coming out, and blood, pus, inconceivable pain things, but difficult to die. Just like, if you can do some in the some journalists, some science, they found some beings in the snow. Winter times they are like frozen into the snow ice. Summer is they come back alive again. Maybe some in the past life is the consciousness there, but they are kind of the sufferings very much. And also those worms penetrated the cracked flesh, and David, those kind of the such ugly insect with their the metallic beaks, this insect sometimes coming this some like flesh, and they eating those like worm and different kind of the insect coming into this. Their mouth is made metallic big, and it's they butt, when they butt, like we have same as the feeling right now. The name of these 8 hells divide from the different sufferings that beings injured in themselves. And this in the cold hells, it's like a kind of not, we understood they are not kind of like kind of the building way. Maybe it looks like areas same, but they have the different appearances, different situations. Yeah, like same as the Siberians, or some in the high altitudes, a little below, also in the like cold altitudes. Some you below some mountains, some cave, some forest. It's okay. Most areas very cold, like this kind of situations. Some areas it's incredible. In Tibet, sometimes really is the roof of this world very cold. It's some in the areas. I think it's 2-3 years old yaks sometimes become the frozen, die. And like this kind of really is the more, maybe it's 10-20 times the like normal frozen is cold. And this is that is we know now, we understood these situations. Now we are all traveled through these 8 cold hells, understood those like kind of burst hell of the burst blessed hells. And then it's like a lamentation, like all the time is sounding. And then it's the like kind of the April lotus crack. And then there's like a different, like crackers, like maybe it's 18, 30, like many numerous. And this is like kind of different experience state. Then you can to call the 8 hells. Maybe, of course, if we can to more go deeply, of course, we can make divide many different states, but that's rough state countries. Now we understood that we never, jamais in the future we need to go again there. And also we should to do something. You saw the whoever living beings there. Don't say, I can't see there. Maybe it is imagined. This is a legend. This is like kind of to make the effort. This is not really like this. It's existence. We can to look obviously in direct. We can to see. Some in the high attitudes. Many insects, they are like this, living. And also it's like ancient times. It's like in the Siberias. It is like a kind of, we can find some mammals, like kind of this old ancient elephant. We find only in the Siberias, not in the Africa. And what happened? Maybe we don't know how many millions looks like they are Earth, but certainly become frozen. So no, they kind of cover over it. Then they died. Maybe it's like they become frozen. How many years they suffered in order to die. And also those are become the slowly. Now we can to discover many kind of the dinosaurs, some animals, insect. They are like kind of the emerged into those cold, and then it's like they melted. Sometimes cold, hot. It's earth has become the stone. We have found still in the rocks, stones, this kind of animals. Maybe beginning those animals, how many sufferings? Years, maybe years they didn't died. Half is burned maybe, half is maybe cold. Frozen. Like this kind of, obviously there are something is this kind of. And like this, now we understood we need to generate bodhicitta. We need to make aspiration to may whoever living sentient beings there, please. Or may they quickly to be free from right now. How I can do right now to make free them from. I want to apply and Dharma, my path, liberation. I want to become quickly be enlightenment, benefit for those sentient beings. Oh, I want to become quickly be enlightenment. If I become enlightenment, then I'm powerful. I can teach Dharma to others. I can receive name of the lamas. I can sit on the throne. Like same as you look at me, Don't concern me under the people, just concerning the 8 worldly concerning. Then I think we travel into this state or not. It's not much for you, not different for you. Maybe if you think of course, pity them. Their business, really they are suffering. It's me or not. Don't say like this. And you need to quickly be enlightenment to help those our family sentient beings. And also to be quickly enlightenment to guide to next generations, to tell to them this kind of situations is possible, can occur. And do not go there. Do not make cause in order to rebirth there. That is very important to say like this. Now, how it is their life spent. As for the life spent in this cold hells, imagine and a container that could hold 200 causality measures. Causality measure. You know the kausala? Kausala is the Buddha's family's lineages. They call the Shakya kingdom. Shakya kingdom, there is one capital. They call the Kausala or the Nyenyu. I think it's like Nyenyu is the most the Buddha's families. It comes from there. They have a special kind of the measure. It's a measure. Ancient times we haven't got this heavy like a kilos, like kind of there's a grams. And at that time, it's only sometimes like when you are selling grain, barley, rice, nyua. I think nyua you cannot sell. Yes, in Tibet they're selling. Yeah, there are a lot of nyua and you are selling. And one is like they're selling. Sometimes they measure like this and do like this. And sometimes first they make the walnuts. Walnuts, they put the inside one middle walnut, not small, not big, one walnut, and to take out inside, very nicely to cut. Then you put inside big true barley, middle true barley, small true barley. Then these 6 barleys, and these barleys to time of the 6, and then you can do 6 or 7 to fill up the chinnets, fruits outside. Then this kind of the 7 times, and then you can fill up the egg. Not big lemon gears egg, no, in the middle, which I think chicken egg. Chicken, this is. And then this chicken egg inside how many? And then you can do another contain there is. And then there is in the causality, there's the measure is like one is you do like this, some is there is a causality, one measure is compared right now. I think it's 1.5 kilos. That is one is a measure. This one you do like this to exactly maybe 1.5 kilos or something like this measure. Filled with sesame seed, life in the blissed hell lasts as long as it would take to empty that container by removing in single grain every 100 years. It is like kind of very special. They didn't like kind of causally measures it. In Tibetan, is you call the name is special tese. Here is the measures. Measures is just normal, yes, not the specific causalis. The measurements, the machine's name is the te. And one te itself is, look. And this measure is with the same heat life in the, and the life like 200 causally measures it. The 200 causally measure is, we can to say is like our perspective 150 kilo. 150 kilo. Do you understand? 150 kilo, I think so, something like this. Because it's like a yeah. And it's like the Kosala is like 10 times. In the English, they didn't translate it. Could hold 200 Kosali measures them. It's really to literally translate it like 10 times 20. 10 times 20 is 200 Kosali measures. 210. Each one itself has 1.5 kilos. And then it's like how many? 150 kilo, yes? 300 kilo. Oh yeah, maybe that is true. I thought it's no. Like 300. That's right. 300 kilos. This is in Tibet. It's like says it's a just it's just means 10 times 20. It's the 200. Is this causality measure inside? I would say 1.5 kilos. And then it's 300 kilos. 300 kilos kilo of the sesame seed is how many? I think it's very much countless, yes? And then this one is like a counting with remove a single grain. 100 years, take out one sesame seed. They need to finish it all these 300 kilos of sesame seed. It's like kind of it's amazing. Maybe this is like kind of you say, don't say like this. This is just exaggerated. Maybe it's not. Very sorry. I said it's like some is beings, really is beings. Into the, you can do, later we can to talk this ephemeral health. You can to see that is talking about some is animals, frogs. Some they is emerge into the rock, in the snow, and sometimes their life is really countless. They're living there it's like all this during their sufferings. This is like kind of the karmic appearances. We cannot to say it's no existence. I'm very sorry. If you say this is not existence, then this appearance is not existence. And this appearance is existence, and surely this kind of appearances appear, according to our like kind of the misdeed, kind of the result, negative tendencies result. This kind of is very difficult. We are unpredictable, like self appearances all the time is can appear. For the other called health, lifespan sufferings increased by the multiple of the 20 for the each ones. This is like kind of the first burst blissed health is like kind of the 200 causal measures. And each 100 years you take out one sesame seed, then their life spent to theirs. But in the next like kind of the health, which is the lamentation or continue like the apatal or the pematas, it's like of the pemata crack, apata crack. And then it's like 18 crack, 16 crack, like a 32 crack. Number of the crack, those cold areas, they're like more and more like worse suffering, worse long life. And like kind of these situations, it's multiplied the 20 for the each ones. This we can too easily to understand that. And also maybe it's like more we need to think and to analyze. Yeah, why we need to investigate? You say it's like this is kind of the history and kind of the like someone's writing novels, novel like this. This kind of is like kind of how do we say it? Someone's wrote, but this is such a kind of the benefit. If you want to explore how it's going on situation of the other sentient beings or other your families, if someone is like kind of the reborn in the ice Greenland, in the deep of this ice, and still they are not melt, how many billions, trillions there are snow there is. Still this old snow ice there. Maybe they are still alive. Then maybe one day they reach this snow's melted, then their life is come back again. Maybe this kind of happened 100% surely like this. And life this later 20 times longer than the hell of the burst bliss. Then is the blistering hell, 20 times longer than that the hell of the clenched teeth, and then so on. Means it's like others, like the apple like crackers, pema like crackers, and also crack is like 8 and the 16 and also 30, so on. This one is like we need to more and to explore. We need to travel through this. At the moment we're traveling through we are no problem. We are not injured. We are very strong and no problem. But if we reborn there, maybe we will have very much like kind of suffering. Like sometimes when we is out in some European, some like countries to have good conditions, they travel in Tibet. Ooh, I traveled there, it's so cold, and I think it's difficult to go against it. But you are no problem, you safely come back. Sometimes you go to some very poor countries, so difficult. I come back, I understand my situations. Like this, you should travel in these cold areas. How is those situations? Take these sufferings, open yourself, wonderful to sailing, mentally, and then meditate on them in the same way as for the hot hells. Generate bodhicitta, really like an unshakable generate bodhicitta, and concerning those sentient beings. When you concern those suffering sentient beings, maybe you're difficult to stop your tear is coming. You're difficult to do dharma activity to stop. You really wish, you want to do. You want to become the enlightenment quickly, urgently. You hurry up. Even though someone says, do not practice dharma, no. Like kind of the eagerly, desire attachmentally, and really emotional. Maybe this emotional is not emotional. Compassionate emotional. And kindness emotion. You want to really eagerly to quickly make liberation to them. I want to go to this. Like a kind of the last time I told you, the mothers want to save her baby, this deer. And her baby is like swimming on the water, crocodile is coming. And she's absolutely eagerly jump into the water and go between her baby and the crocodiles. It's amazing. Until she is reached in the between this her baby and the crocodiles, she is very fast swimming, almost the same as the crocodile. She reached in the between and the baby and the crocodiles, and then she relaxed. She think, now I save my baby. But of course she's going to die, but she relaxed and a little bit swimming, and she looked the baby. But then of course crocodile captured her, died. Baby, she concerned her baby. Maybe she's become enlightened. She become according these compassions. Surely she has such positive actions. And look, this kind of we need compassion, your compassions. It's really wanted to save those suffering sentient beings. Now maybe something living in this cold hell. You should take this suffering open yourself. Sometimes when we are very sitting on the comfortable sofa, someone's give you glass of the wine and some delicious chips. And you eating, house is comfortable, some beautiful family surrounds it you. And then you talk about there's maybe it's kind of the image they used religious word they're talking. Maybe even in the television, you are watching television, someone's like kind of maybe showing to you, say, there's some such those beings pretty, but their business. You even haven't got any feeling. We haven't got any feeling. Delicious one. Oh yeah, there's suffering. Don't become like this. Very much foolish, sorry. Like same as me. To a little bit concerning like this. As much as, of course, we immediately cannot be same as acting same as the Buddha and Bodhisattva, but as much as we can. As much as we can to help, to quickly to apply our path. Therefore, he said, take this suffering upon yourself, mentally, then meditate on it. Generate bodhicitta, and develop the compassion, wisdom. Like the same as the hot hell. And think how unbearable cold it feels to standing neck in the winter wind, even for an instant, in this present human world, in this present our human realms. Maybe you can to try in the winter. Maybe when there's a snowstorm coming, go to nakedly to experience 5 minutes, 10 minutes. For me, it's in Dharma city sometimes cold. Even I'm wearing this cloth, go outside, very difficult. I need tea, I need run to say. Of course, snow, windy, and the cold is coming, then it's like this. And that moment, we don't need to say, I'm cold. Wow, whoever's been in the cold hell, how they can to do? Maybe also during the conversations, when you go to the sauna, wow, those are very hot. How about hot hell? And you can go to the cold water to stay there maybe a few minutes. About the cold hells, how they are kind of injured, those situations. May they quickly liberation. May they quickly to be free from this cause and these sufferings. May I can to make liberate to them. This kind of, even between the conversations, it is very important. And if you do like this, you are great compassionate. You are really on the path of your liberation. And you are naturally to become the authentic being. You naturally, automatically become you are the holiness. You are the source of the refuge for other sentient beings. All those cold or hot areas, sentient beings, they put on you. And they like hope you are the most important. Now, do not be lazy and to quickly to be enlightenment, benefit those sentient beings. How could you stand it if you were reborn in those realms? If we born in those realms, how we can to bear, how we can to deal, how we can to stand. Very difficult, and like to bear that. You stand it if you were reborn in those realms. 8 hot realms, 20 supplementary hells, hot hells, and also the 8 cold hells. This kind of realms, how much they are suffering. We need to confess ourselves, faults, what we done, some misdeed, negative things. Also we can to take ourselves, those sentient beings did some negative things. We need to confess. And those sentient beings' faults. And promise never to commit them against it. And of course, when we understood some misdeed and like kind of the faults, but also we need to commitment, say, I don't want to do again in the futures, which is the cause of to make the rebirth in the lower realms. And also it's like eliminate whoever done some cause in the reborn in these situations. When we are confessing during the Vajrasavas, we collect all the faults of the sentient beings. And sometimes we confess to purify, eliminating as negative deeds. Then it's like a kind of the never ever commit in order to go against theirs. And also may any kind of sentient beings never make some misdeed, negative things in order to reborn those cold areas. And then it developed your great compassion, aspiration, bodhicitta, and according this conduct for the beings actually living in those words, the word of the hot, word of the cold, word of the supplementary hot health. Practice as the before, it is the employing bodhicitta, each of the meditations, and also in the middle apply the non-conceptualizations. In the end, you need to applying in the dedications. These three supreme methods of the beginning, compassion, main practice, non-conceptualization, and conclusion of the dedications. That is very important. Now we are traveled, we understood it's like kind of the cold hell and a hot health, all of them. And then next traveling, we are go through the 1.3. It is we call the ephemeral health. Ephemeral hell, uncertainty hell. Or it's like unpredictable health. Very temporary hell. Short and like kind of. Why you call the ephemerals? Ephemeral health. It's kind of the like very uncertainty way, like this. They said it's the ephemeral health exists in all sorts of the different locations. Different locations, ephemerals, where they are living, which kind of situation, very different. The suffering also different experience, them. Also very considerable, unpredictable, like kind of definitive, and they live in different location. They have different suffering experience, and like this. Now we need to explore those sentient beings, what they are doing. And are you tired? You are miss your coffee or not? Just few minutes. Then we can to drink your coffee. I think internet is working. I'm anger online, and the nonsense Mr. Google's works very well. That's how it is the ephemeral living different locations. You can to look. Be maybe crushed between the rocks. Absolutely. It is like sometimes rocks between rocks. In French, we call the rocks. Oh, sure, sorry, it's not rocks. And from me, there are some great practitioners living, but they are like kind of yawing. Don't blah, 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 continue. We are tired. Mr. Your cappuccino. Don't a little practice patience. Just 2 minutes. Look, those ephemeral hell living beings, they're a different location. Crushed between the rocks means sometimes they emerged. No need crack. No need any holes. Naturally to be in the in rocks. Or it is tapped inside a stone. A stone. A stone. And it's like kind of the crushed between rocks. You know, sometimes rock is falling. Bang! Said, then they never go back. And between rock crushed, half is broken, half is not alive, and suffering. And sometimes there are stones. Most is frogs, fish, some animals. I would to say when we found some like ancient, like dinosaurs, when you break some rock stones, you have inside animals shape small stone. Those have had alive. How many millions they alive to stabbed. Stabbed inside those stones. And then slowly they died. Then body is become the stone. And in Tibet, in my area, Dzogchen, there is one top of mountain is completely white rocks. If you go to there, when our children, most children go there, you pick the big stone and crack. Inside, a lot of small birds is coming out. It's really wind, mouth, eyes, everything. In Tibet, we call the do stone. Ati shingo means it's like birds of the ati. And in our Europe, some is like signs. There is a crack or like a split, some stone inside some fish, like pointing body, and lizard, some animals, insect. Maybe how many years they emerged into this stone? Then slowly, they maybe beginning not died yet. Who knows? Millions years they alive emerged there. Then slowly, then they died. Then the body is even become the stone. And also the frozen in the like kind of the the frozen in the ice. Because this location is different. Cooked in the boiling water, sometimes there is. Burned in the fire. Therefore, they have a kind of the different locations. And according to these locations, according to the environmentals, then they have the different experience of the sufferings. Also, some feel that when someone is cutting a tree, who has a tree? Oh yes, someone is like cutting the tree, and then it's like the tree have the limbs chopped off, because it's like some trees make the suffering sound. Some trees has blood, and also some trees inside living this ephemeral sentient beings. They think this tree as their body. And also sometimes they are like kind of considered grass, mushrooms, any kind of vegetations. And also many different, they think their body. When they are chopping the wood, grass, they think they're chopping their own body. Even though sometimes some suffered through, identify their bodies the body like this. Also with the object that are the constantly put to use, like normal how we are using, such as motors. Motor? What does it mean, motor? One is like you making some spice or garlic or something is make powder. You have a kind of the motor of the stone, iron inside, then you make the powder. Sometimes they reborn in this. Then each moment you make this smash, this spirit, they think you are hitting their head. And they kind of holding these motors are their own body. And the broom, of course, that is like kind of robbers. Pans, and like kind of when you cook your pans, you are like kind of put on the stone or the fire, and then you put oil. Maybe they think this pan is their own body. And you put on the the fire, they think they're burning. You put oil, also you can, their feeling is like you're putting hot oil their head. And also it's like a door. Of course, most great practitioners, they close the door very slowly, open on the doors also very slowly, because never they shut the doors. Because sometimes ephemeral sentient beings, they imagine, they think their doors, their body, pillars. There are the hopes. Normally, the hopes is, in Tibet, is a yepa. I don't know. Yepa means it's like you make the 3 pieces of the body, and then to top of there you put your teapot or some other, maybe it's like kind of the pans, and then you can make the fire. And these 3 things you have, then is this one is the hope. But I want to say is the hearth. Hearth. Can you check? H-E, I think A-R-T-H. They said hope. Well, maybe also hope is okay. Not, it's a work. That's don't worry. It's savoir, c'est comme ça. Earth is, hope is different? No. Did you check? This one? Correct. Okay, how do pronunciation? Earth. Hearth or earth? Hearth. I think H-E-A-R. Heart. Look, heart. Heart. Not hope. Hope is like you cooked your meal, and then there's like a kind of the supplementary, or there's a beside there is to continue hot. That is the hope. I don't know. But according to the different translations, there's the head, heart. Okay, it doesn't matter. I just mentioned, you can analyze. And also the ropes. Ropes sometimes like daily we are using ropes. Like you use for the animals, and those ropes sometimes is the ephemeral sentient beings. They think, they consider like they identify their body. They think this like this. And extremely of the story about these hells are the accounted of the fish seen by the Lingyeripa in Yandro Lexe. That's a very nice history. I don't need to say this example story what the Lingyeripa say. Lingyeripa is the one Kajut Lama. How he saw later, maybe you can to see it. Lingyeripa is the 3rd centuries. And there's 2 Ripas. Ripa, Lingyeripa, and Tsomba Ripa. And Tsomba Jara Ripa, it is the more like kind of the create Nrupa Gajya tradition and this lineage. And these 2 Ripas, Lingyeripa is the student of the Pomutapa. Poduk Gajya. Gajya, you have Kama Gajya, Nrupa Gajya, Taksong Gajya, and Pomo Gajya. Pomo Gajya has also is like these centuries. His student is Lingyeripa, most very strong, and he also traveled into the Bhutan. And how he saw the Yandro Yonso. And Yandro Yonso is in Tibet, where have very famous 4 legs. And then the Yonso is the very special history. Okay, later more is coming. And the frog, frog that the Siddha Tonton Gyalpo found inside the stone. Tonton Gyalpo, the Mahasiddha, Tutup Tonton Gyalpo. Of course, it says it's like more such a lineage holder. But he was also is like I think it's the 3rd centuries. And his life was 125 years old. After that 125 years, he passed away. He has a beautiful history. He said this is emanation of the Guru Rinpoche. But someone said when he became 125 years old, and some is like kind of, they say, disappeared. It's become deathless. And sometimes in Tibet, you can't meet Tonton Gyalpo. And he's like, he was mostly born in the calm areas. Then he traveled into the Central Tibetan, and he became the practitioner monk. And then he traveled many years in India, Nepal, many of these countries. Then he met many Mahasiddhas, and then he became the really extreme, great, like kind of the Mahasiddha. And then, like someone is like prayed, Tatup is the Mahasiddhi. Tonton Gyalpo means it's like in some empty place. It's the great realization of the king. They said like this. Then he's become this nickname of the Tonton. Tonton means empty desert place. Ton is the desert, flat. Ton is tombanya, emptiness. And Gyalpo is the king, the realization of the king. And then once he traveled some place in central Tibet. That is near the Kailash. They have very huge river. And of course, he's a very much beggar. And then he asked some captains, can you me transport to said this captains beat in his head, insulted. And then it's like he was so much sad. And whoever suffering this kind, look, those boat drivers insult those poor people. I must to do something. And then he started build the bridges. And he asked to begging to all the village people, everybody, iron begging. And also certainly some is the iron treasure they got it. Then he iron bridges everywhere. He built 100 iron bridges in many different Tibetans, even in Bhutan, where we were. Many, like we have, like still there is the Tonton Jaro's iron bridge, very famous. And a small bridge, big bridge, he made many bridges because these sufferings occur. Like this one is like Tonton Jaro, small bag of, but you know that, inside the stone how he can do so. And now is that the time to drink chocolate cappuccino. Okay, half an hour rest.